boot, and I had like 104.3
There we
degrees
go.
fever yesterday, so I'm recovering. But of course, below you can kind of see some of the things that we're going to talk about today. We have quite a few reminders, a lot to go over
I'll move me
today.
out of the way.
Turquoise Sea preview, and
Where do we
we
want
have
to go?
the
Top
Anvil
left?
sneak peek. We'll be talking a little bit about that,
Top
as well
left.
as we will be hopping into game and playing live with our wonderful folks over on Resna, through Jeanne d'Arc, and doing a little event showcase in the tropics over in the Turquoise Sea. And then we'll do a little live Q&A. So got a lot going on. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And this has been a busy month. I mean, we got a lot.
I haven't seen this yet, so we're watching it now.
Between the server merging that we did and their testing
servers
today,
dropping
yesterday
in
PTR, as well
6
as the
hours.
Fresh Start server and the announcements that we had with the extension of the phase 2.
7 hours.
There's been a lot of conversation in the community, so I'm excited to kind of dig into it today and chat about all these things.
Yeah, the realm merge went pretty well for our initial test yesterday, so now we are doing it over on Resna with the non-PTR folks, with our actual play, all of our testers. So it's been pretty smooth, oddly, so far, which is a little nerve-wracking. So maybe something bad's gonna happen. We'll see.
Oh no!
But we are trying to
don't put that voodoo on us, Ricky Bobby. Come on now.
We're trying to make sure that everything is running smoothly for potential future merges if we need to do them. Not always the thing that you want to do, but I think it's good for people to be thinking about it preemptively, and so we're definitely doing. Of course, we'll always bring up more realms if we need to, but let's get into all of the things. We have a lot to talk about, and we want to get in game and have fun too. So first and foremost, our YouTube subscriber comment. If you don't remember, we spotlight one person from our community based on being a subscriber. So make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You have to be like a public subscriber. It's like a weird thing. Look it up. And then we choose someone at random. It's great. So for this one, it is from Shado3682. And apparently they've been subscribed to us for 2 years, which is pretty amazing.
Nice.
They said, so just to be sure, if I, random person number 1, find a relic and am not part of a group / community / guild, do I just leave it where it is? Does it, as it doesn't as it provides me with nothing? Not complaining, just curious what incentives a solo player has for relics.
That's a great question. So if you're a solo player and you find a relic out in the wild, what do you do? Find a relic out in the wild. What do you do? In that situation, I would in the desire here is that, like, you have information now. As an individual player, you have information that a lot of other players are really interested to know. And those other players that are interested to know that are probably going to be part of more orchestrated and organized groups that have a lot of financial wherewithal to pay you for that information. So the question is, do you want to secure the reward, take it to a location that might not be disclosed, advertise the fact that you have awareness of this, and talk about whether or not you want to sell that information and or sell this thing to a group? Leverage that, right? That's power. Knowledge is power. Having that resource now is power that you can sell to other groups that are interested. That would be what I think is the more compelling gameplay option there, right? Is the little finger of AOC. I see somebody in chat says exactly, right?
Someone told them just get a guild in the chat.
Well, I mean, you could get a guild, but
some people don't want to.
At that point, you're selling your information / power for, the relationship now that you're going to get in that build, and that might be your objective, or your.
But
objective
even as a
might be
solo
more
player,
related.
don't you still? I mean, you still get advantages from being a citizen of a node. So bringing that relic to the node can still give you advantages, even if you aren't part of a guild or like a little community. So
yeah, you're lawful good. That's a lawful good mentality, 100%. Like, hey, the progression of society is important. You're a part of a community, whether you're an individual or not. Like, it takes a village to build a node. But there are some people that might not be lawful good, that might be more neutral evil, or whatever. They want to get paid. So the point is that these are tools for you to manifest and role play as is important to you, and there's a lot of different ways that you can do that. So to Margaret's point, like, you're good-hearted, you want to benefit your server, your node, be that guy or girl, cool, do that. But if you want to be the different type, you can do that too.
What's funny is we internally one time, Steven and I and a few of us were all trying to like guess what our alignments were. It was just a group of us when we were out at lunch one time. I can't remember what we were doing.
Yeah, but oh, go ahead.
No, go for it.
No, I was just going to say,
move on to the next thing.
To more fundamentally answer the question, though, these relics are targets of nodes, right? They are to be acquired by nodes. They're important to nodes. So can you take this back to your freehold and harvest the relic yourself and just be an individual token there? No, you can't. You're going to need some way for this to be delivered to a node, whether it's yours or not. And how you choose to do that is really where the rub lies for your benefit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then moving on to our other reminders, we have the Alpha 2 Phase 2 extension and Alpha 2 Phase 3 information. There's a lot here, so we want to kind of reconfirm some stuff, make sure everybody's aware. So the reasoning behind why we did the extension is to give us a little bit more time for implementing and testing our dynamic gridding, which is, pretty critical for improving gameplay performance in our densely populated areas. We've already got a lot of that stuff being worked on the back end. It's being promoted up, so it's pretty exciting. We'll be having that in players' hands very soon.
Hey, nice guy. How you going, buddy?
We are hopeful that it will help us with our performance needs. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about that.
Are you in the game?
Yeah.
Have you got Ashes of Creation?
This topic?
This was dynamic gridding.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, right now the IntrepidNet team and the Engine team have been doing a great job in standing up the dynamic gridding for testing on our lower branches. And now it's moved into a phase where our gameplay engineering teams are kind of rooting out the last remaining bugs that certain systems have in interacting with the dynamic gridding. We'll probably talk a little bit with this about this with Zach. He's a part of our group that we're going to be playing through.
Zach.
He's one of our technical directors, obviously brilliant when it comes to what is intended behind our networking system, as he's the original author of that. But the goal here, obviously, with dynamic gridding is that by the end of June and in July, we are testing dynamic gridding in the extended phase 2 live version, whether that be across PTR or that be across the production environment. This is now the route that dynamic gridding has to becoming live. And that is, still outstanding work that some of the gameplay engineering teams have to make sure that all the systems and the critical bugs that we've identified are addressed, which we have now quantified. And that's why I can give you a general timeline for this, because that scope is understood.
And then, of course, we are going to be introducing our second starting area, the anvils, which we'll talk a little bit about in our next segment coming up.
That's phase 3, isn't it?
That is coming up, and a revamp to our questing and first-time user experience system. We are going to be putting some dev discussions out potentially about that as well to get your guys' feedback on. So definitely keep a lookout for that.
I do want to touch on that point.
We're going to have a whole segment for the anvil, so I don't know if you want to talk about it in that.
I just wanted to touch on the player feedback for first-time user experience. So we are going to be distributing a dev discussion with regards to these Fatui systems, or the first-time user experience systems. And, obviously we want to collect player feedback because there's a wide range of ways that games can handhold players across the introduction to a world and systems. Mm-hmm. Now, in alpha, obviously, we don't have a lot of those systems stood up quite yet because we're still refining the core gameplay loops as part of the testing environment. And so we took a very preliminary early pass on some of the basic requirements of the Fatui system with regards to the Riverlands and the initial Alpha 2. So when you do engage with this dev discussion, kind of pay homage a little bit in referencing what MMOs had really good onboarding systems, what you liked about them, what was good about it, what were the things you enjoyed that they stayed away from, because we want to help inform
that's
how
good.
We now, when we are going to be spending time on Fatui systems for the anvils and refurbishing kind of the
I think you do need to walk people through
how we
where they need to go,
with keeping in mind what our audience enjoyed about these other games. So participate in that dev discussion. It's very helpful for us.
And then we are also going to be doing some ongoing server worker and realm performance improvements, which will help us lay a stronger foundation for scalability. our transition to Unreal Engine 5.5, which is also going to improve some of our tools, performance, and development flexibility. Pretty big. So far, the integration with that has been pretty good as well, similar to dynamic gridding. I think it's on the same timeline as far as moving up into our branches. It's on one of our lower branches, but it's looking good, which is exciting.
Yeah. And that's something that Zach has been spearheading. Absolutely. There's a lot of interesting systems that come along with 5.5 as an upgrade. We're actually skipping a version in this upgrade. I think we're still on 5.3. We're going to be moving straight to 5.5, as Margaret said, over the course of the next week or so.
I don't know if we're going to make an hour and a half
for us.
Just because we're going to make sure we're in bed so we can wake up for 2:30 a.m.
Trickle down effects that can occur across some of your bespoke gameplay systems and/or.
Do I need to get up at a quarter past? Maybe 2:15. I might set my alarm for.
That needs to be kind of rectified. Those conflicts.
2:15 a.m. I'm going to set my alarm.
Actually permeate that engine upgrade across all of our branches. So that's a big intensive process for us, but it's one that's been going pretty well.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about maybe more of that next month. QA wants to come join us too, maybe on a live stream to talk a little bit about their testing and the things that they've been working on. So it could be pretty exciting to see all of that stuff. So for those of you who are interested in tech stuff, we'll get into it.
Why is
I can't believe I'm getting up at 2:15.
What is a bit?
Because you
6
say
hours, 10
bespoke
minutes
a
from
lot.
now. Fuck me.
It's just
You
a
say it a
word.
lot.
It's just a
I
word.
know.
I say
I don't
the
know.
word "the" a lot.
Well, bespoke is a very different word.
It's a very bespoke word, you might say.
Yeah. I think penultimate too. People are always like, who says that? Because it's just such a weird word. I say that one. I don't know why, but I just do.
All hail thee.
we like to use our words. Steve and I are crafters of words. We have a significant economy and stat balancing effort that is going to be happening over the next 3 months in preparation for a really solid phase 3 start. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about that, Stephen, but that is another reason.
Which one
for
was
this
it?
extension.
I'm sorry, I was distracted by chat.
Our economy and stat balancing
That's in my mind.
over the next 3 months.
Yes. Okay. So, a couple of points here. There is obviously a lot of work that's intended to be delivered by the time we have our August 4th phase 3 start. That is going to be work that's done over the course of the next 3 months. I know that Corey and Mike and myself and Bill and Rhett, we're going to be working with narrative and trying to identify, a lot of the changes that we already intend to provide during that period of time, getting those in and tested on PTR. For tomorrow, for the fresh start, that's tomorrow. And let me back it up actually for a second.
Cool.
We initially did not plan to have a fresh start for May 1st. We intended initially to announce
I think fresh start's a good idea.
And to do a server merge approach that we were going to be testing. Obviously
I'm happy with fresh start.
Database migration.
I prefer fresh start over not fresh start, to be honest.
Merge servers and or transfer characters and whatnot with that extended period of time.
It's just like restarting a computer, isn't it?
Something that was overly desired by the community, and I think we saw that when we made the announcement and initially launched the article. There was an overwhelming request for us to do a fresh start server on May 1st, regardless, which is cool. Like the whole reason we do this transparent development process, engage with the community, have these monthly development updates, talk in Discord and engage with everybody.
Cleans economy, lets you do that leveling grind again. I think leveling's part of the game. I think that's the best part. Everyone joining at the same time, even level playing field.
Which can happen from time to time and can be somewhat of a little bit of a chaos starter, but that's okay. It happens. And I said, let's do a fresh start. From time to time, it can be. I did see a couple of content creators talk about the communication flub there and why we didn't kind of give more advance notice of that, and that's because it wasn't intended, and we had to kind of pivot and move on our feet, which is okay. We're good at that.
Shit happens. That's what I say.
We're very capable of doing that, and we've updated the article since to kind of talk about that. Now, with this fresh start, we had to expedite the delivery of some economic changes, because if we're going to fresh start, we do want to test some elements of the economy that we wanted to.
Do you think things are going to be cheaper or more expensive?
And let me bring up, just so I make sure I'm not missing anything here. Let me bring up where that sheet went. I'm sorry. Yeah, I wasn't totally prepared for this question. Okay, here we go. I have it. So with the changes that are going to be landing tomorrow,
mm-hmm.
the econ design team has done a great job in trying to facilitate this as a disruption to their intended sprint to deliver for May 1st. But we are going to be reducing vendor inventories off of the bat. And what that means is currently within the game, obviously we have a wide array of level 5 through level 10 and just a bunch of other like craftable items that exist on vendor tables. Well, we're going to be significantly reducing that. And the reason why is because over the course of the last few months, having played in phase 2, that has been somewhat of a stopgap measure to supplement the fact that we didn't have a lot of strong quest representation or content representation that might accommodate or induct players into that power progression curve as you kind of level up. And by removing these from the vendor list, we now are going to be placing a heavier emphasis on crafters, gatherers, and processors to deliver on these needs, supporting a strong supply and demand economy.
So was this in 2.5 or 3?
In addition, we're going to be reducing the amount of gear that's dropped by enemies. So that is a blanket kind of reduction of drop chance for completed gear items, and allowing, again, crafters to be the central point where players have to interact with, engage with, discuss with, talk about, hey, I need gear, craft this shit for me so that I can perform in these environments. We think that's going to be a very positive thing as well. We are also increasing the quantity of ingredients for recipes. This is across the board. This is now a conversion ratio where you have raw goods that get converted at a higher ratio to processed goods, and then that's required for materials of these recipes as well. And then lastly, we did expedite the introduction of the static rarity changes so that on May 1st we will not see static rarity. This is kind of a temporary solution that we're using until the full system is delivered on May 8th, which was the intended delivery date for production. That work is still done. It's down in our QA branch. It's getting tested. But for May 1st, we will not see static rarity. We're just going to be doing it a backhanded way for about a week. And then lastly, what we've discussed is we're also going to be adjusting the amount of glint that's dropped by enemies. Some of the higher end enemies were dropping a little bit too much glint. So we're going to be adjusting that.
Taking it away.
So these are a lot of just kind of like, from the hip changes for the May 1st fresh start.
Shit. So what that means is we're going to get less glint from enemies. So we can't run as many caravans or as quick as caravans as quickly as we want to get gold. So by reducing glint, we're reducing gold. We're reducing vendors, the amount of items vendors have. So that also means that we don't have gold to use. Second of all, there's not going to be things to buy for us who want to buy stuff. Drop rates for equipment's also reduced. And then, unless I was listening to that wrong, we're increasing the amount of mats that are required for crafting when crafting was already a tedious task. If that's the case, that's insane. And that's May 1st. So that's tomorrow. That is as we start tomorrow, depending what time zone you're in now. Shit. That changes everything. Well, first of all, we'll check the vendors, we're going to run past them anyway, because one of the key items we do to level quicker is when you hit certain levels is by equipment. But by the sounds of things, that equipment might not be there. But we still need to get the glint. We might not get the glint even if the equipment was there. We might not have enough glint to buy the damn thing. This is going to be very interesting tomorrow. We'll still be able to fight, but how long do we have to hold on to our very first weapon? Are we going to get lower level recipes where our crafters can craft stuff early? That's the question. If you want to add to it, remove stuff from everywhere else and we start focusing and pushing towards more our crafters, because in phase 2, we did not use our crafters. It wasn't viable to do that type of work. So by the sounds of things, we're pushing towards our crafters. At the same time, we're still making it harder because the crafters still need glint and gold to be able to craft their items. So unless they reduce the gold amount to craft as well, crafting is going to be harder, and we've got no choice but to craft. So look, we'll see how it goes tomorrow, but that load of information there is huge. We'll just have to see how it goes. Fuck me.
But we think it represents
the initial
some of the
changes you talked about before the static respawn stuff is going to be over the next 3 months, right? And the static
those changes that I just announced, those will be in for May 1st.
Okay.
Yes.
This section was not about that. This section was about the stuff that's going to happen over the next 3 months.
My bad.
Yeah.
Over the next 3 months.
Later, we were going to talk about the static respawn, but I thought you were just moving it up. So I was like, oh, okay, we're going to talk about that.
No. Everything I just announced is for May 1st. The static respawn's included. Over the next 3 months, we're going to be taking a much more fine-tooth comb to balancing resources, recipes, spawn times, vendor tables, a lot of stuff that goes around with the economy. That's going to be much more granular approach over the next 3 months. Everything I just announced previously is for tomorrow.
Okay.
Wow.
And then the introduction of the Pyre, Renkai, and Nikuin races with all their armor sets, along with our last archetype, the Summoner. So we have a lot of stuff that we're working on prior to the Phase 3 launch. So I know folks are going to be excited. We understand that extending Phase 2 might not be everyone's cup of tea, but that's what, we keep saying. Development is a moving thing. We're going to consistently just try to keep you guys updated. We did try to update whenever we made the article updates in Discord as well, just so people were aware. Not the best case. We don't always want to just be updating things, but as information was coming our way and changing, we were just trying to make you all aware of those changes as they came through, and the adjustments that we did. For testing access, Alpha 2 Kickstarter pre-order backers and Alpha 2 first and second wave bundle holders, as well as Alpha 2 third wave bundle holders, will now gain access to the extended Phase 2 period beginning May 1st. We might have let some of those Phase 3, Wave 3 folks in today. So if you are one, we'll give you a little extra time. So definitely we'll be sending an email about that. But you should probably be able to log in the site and see the download link as well.
Actually, let me open up the link. Hopefully, is it a download now?
Going forward now. So we're very excited to have everybody joining us. And we hope that you have a lot of fun and help us really put the realm
Oh, Jesus.
to the test. Obviously, testing schedule now through August 4th will still stay as a 5-ish day per week schedule. Sometimes we do keep it up longer. Those of you who have been with us over the last few months have already seen how that process works. So nothing is really changing on that front. Starting August 4th is when we will switch over to 24/7 live schedule with downtime for maintenance and scheduled updates. We'll try to keep you guys aware of when those will be. They'll probably be similar timeframes, Tuesday and Wednesday timeframes, because it allows us to react to things throughout the week if we need to make any changes. But we'll keep you guys informed about those.
Is 2.5 a soft Phase 3? Yes.
During the extended Phase 2 period.
So what's happened is they were meant to release on May 1st. It was meant to be Phase 3. But unfortunately, there's a few major things like dynamic gridding that wasn't ready for Phase 3. So they're going to launch new servers as of tomorrow, May 1st. We still have some updates that have been added to the game, some testing, some rebalancing. So all that's going to go into the game for May 1st. And then August 4th is when they're going to release Phase 3. So unfortunately, it did get pushed back, so we've got another 3 months. But I guess it's probably a good thing, because rather than bulk testing everything all at once, they're testing a few other things between these periods. So all the old servers have been shut down. There's going to be one server only, where everyone is going to go to. So if everyone's coming back tomorrow, the servers are going to get smashed. So for me, I'm getting up at 2:15 so I can start playing for 3. Get up, have a shower, get the stream set up. It's going to be a long day, and we're going to spend most of the day leveling and recruiting.
We will have intermittent periods of full week testing where our servers are kept live through extended periods. So keep an eye on our Discord news, our Alpha 2 news channel. Keep
That's crazy about the crafting, though.
Timelines and server updates.
Yeah.
We are not. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I do want to address one other thing.
Yeah, go for it.
In the announcement of the Fresh Start server for tomorrow.
Well, we're going to talk about that in like literally the next segment if you want.
I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. I just want to make sure
I didn't get a chance to look at the Reddit show at all, so I'm just kind of preempting probably everything you probably already have planned. So I'm just going to wait. You tell me when.
Oh, there's a download. There is a download. So if anyone is currently looking for a download, there's currently a download online right now.
But
go do it.
As it is expected to last until the
because I don't want to have to do this at 2 a.m. in the morning.
It will become the new PTR. So we'll share additional details for our long-term goals on that time, and as that timeline comes closer. But it will be a while. So it will be worth your time and efforts to play and hang out with us and test over on the Alpha 2 realms. Our realm at the current moment. Now we're moving into wipe, fresh start, and merge notice stuff. We know that this section changed a lot over the time. Like Steven had said earlier, we did react and change some things based on external.
I think I'll watch this part and then I'll probably go to bed just so we can get up for the morning.
Team's needs.
I won't be able to watch the whole thing, unfortunately.
To test the merged realms. So
I'll watch that later. I guess the info that we need is for tomorrow's.
But we knew that if we put the fresh start realm up by itself or with the merged realm, it would be competing.
Mango, do you have if you have the game now?
Merge test.
Do you have the game now? So if you got the game now, I say jump on it, get in it, come play with us. Jump, unless you're already in the Discord, Mango, and I just don't know your name and you got a different name on YouTube. Come join in our Discord. Oh, you don't have it? Oh, look, I would get it because the Phase 3 is the same price. You can buy it because or anyone that had purchased keys for Phase 3 are getting in tomorrow or whatever time zone you're in. May 1st, any Phase 3 key holders will be getting in. So whether you buy the key now or within the next 3 months, you'll still be a Phase 3 key holder. So I personally would get it because I really enjoy the game. Look, I played the other phases and I'm back again. I've taken the day off. I'm going to be playing 3 days straight of just Ashes. So if you want to come join us, mate, you are more than welcome. Why am I speaking down? I should be speaking up, shouldn't I? I'm going to move the chat up here a little bit higher. But yeah, no, I think it'd be a good time. Geez, I've got things in the way. Move TikTok down there. But yeah, so from tomorrow morning, I'll be leveling. So we're looking for people to jump in groups with us to level. Some, unfortunately, due to the time, won't be awake, but we should have a few people to level with tomorrow morning.
Would be like, well, now I'm behind because I'm not. So what we decided to do instead was do some PTR testing on Tuesday, which we already did, and then today on Wednesday we are now currently testing the Resna merged realm test at the moment. And then tomorrow we will move to Shoal, which is our full fresh start realm. There is a whole new server worker configuration. There's a lot of performance stuff that we're going to be monitoring. It is going to be a big stress test for us over the next 3 months to really see how things are progressing. So we understand it's not ideal for everybody. We did try to go with US East to make it as useful as possible for folks. I know that EU folks, it's not the best case for you guys, but we are
Australia, it's bad as well.
Together on one realm in order for us to really test things.
Could have gone NA West.
Smoothly.
I guess EU must be bigger.
Speak to
go for it.
I saw a Reddit thread that was like, there will be no more EU realms. Well, that's not entirely true. So while our goal and our desire is to funnel as high of a concurrent player population as possible on a single realm, for a few reasons. One, the playable space has significantly expanded. significantly, right?
I'd like to know those numbers.
Comparatively to what we launched with on December 20th. So just over the course of the last several months, we have expanded significantly into the Sand Squall Desert. We've stood up the Turquoise Sea, and now the Gendark is available. And this is a lot of playable area. And we now, with our server gridding, are capable of hosting a large number of server workers across this grid. And we want to see
but it's not working at the moment.
when we break our historical server concurrency numbers, which, were previously like 7,000 or 8,000, I think. And who knows, with tomorrow, it could get up to, higher than that, which is a great test for us. And when we do get to the point where dynamic gridding comes online for testing, we want to ensure that player density within the world in June and July, and also the spread of player latency as connecting to the realm indicates where we might have problems and where we can adjust.
It'd be interesting for us Australians, that's for sure.
Localize the current testing population onto a single realm. Now, that comes with some considerations that we have to make with regards to the location of this realm. And the location
we're going to get to here, 34-minute mark.
Minds is US East, because the latency connecting from Europe to the
Do we get to see Anvil tomorrow?
Is probably about 100 to 120, 140 or so ping. Now, at that value, you should not experience significantly degraded performance within Ashes. The types of gameplay that we have, the way we've authored that gameplay, should accommodate those types of latencies. So we want to hear from you as you're experiencing that.
Hello, Kurt Varney. You're going to change your TikTok name, mate.
It does not mean that we are going to be removing EU realms for Phase 3. EU realms will be reintroduced at the start of Phase 3. And I understand that, there might be some disgruntledness amongst our testers who are EU driven. But I want to...
I'm doing a test stream. So I've got tomorrow off. And I'm playing, I'm playing Ashes Creation all weekend. I've got to fly to Perth on Sunday afternoon, unfortunately. So that's a disaster. But as of tomorrow morning at 3 a.m., we're playing Ashes of Creation for the whole entire weekend. So if you want to join, you're more than welcome. But we're finding out for the first time now, though it was early today, is that the servers are merging to one. We knew that. But the server is now moving to NA East. And they're trying to see what the latency is across the board, which is painful. 1 a.m. Oh, mighty! I know that's a fucking disaster. Look, I'm in your backyard on Sunday afternoon, but I don't know if you were listening to this. I know rip ping, fucking. I'm getting lag already as already in the game. It was fine before. I was talking to you the other night when we were saying that the lag was getting worse. So hopefully, I don't know. But either way, I've got my alarm set for 2:15. My head's going to hurt like crazy. I've got a whole lot of Red Bulls ready. But I don't know if you watched this video yet, but he said earlier, and I just put it in the Discord, they're dropping the glint. So the glint that you get from monsters or mobs. So you're going to get less glint, less drops. So there's less drops. So it's less likely to get drops, gear drops. There's less items on the vendor. So the idea of when we were saying where we can go through, we pick up some items like a ring or whatnot from the vendor at level 2 or 3 or whatever it is once we get to Briarwood, they might not be there anymore. So first of all, we might not have enough glint when we get there. Second of all, the gear might not even be there. And what was the one? Oh, and then, we might not even get gear to drop. So my concern is, when is the first time we're going to get gear? At what level do we get gear? What's the first time we're going to see gear? By the sounds of things, so it's definitely pushing. Hi, thank you very much. So for the first time, he's actually really pushing to crafting. Now, I don't know if I interpret what he said correctly, but he's also said that there's going to be more material required for the craft. That's if we can craft it. So look, I think it's definitely going to change direction in regards to what we do for sure. But either way, I'm going to get to this part before we get to the Turquoise Sea, and then I'm going to go to bed and try to get some shut eye.
remind
I think I'm going to about 5. If I can get 5 hours sleep, I should be okay. If I get less than that, then I'm in trouble.
We're a smaller team. We're not a massive multi-billion-dollar publishing company that has launched the world's most successful MMO yet. But we are a company that is localized here on the West Coast in California, and we need to make sure that we're accommodating the times of the schedules of our employees, our developers, who can respond, react, observe, and profile what like
that's what I was thinking the exact same thing. If they up the recipe drop, we'll be fine.
The game that we're administering.
The other concern I have,
some consideration on
I forgot to make sure I remember how to create the guild.
Over the course of the next
Setting up a guild.
I
know I need to get a ruby. We need to buy some items.
But in the meantime, help us
got to get the guild scroll. I just need to get to a node to get a guild master to buy the guild token thing.
Clarify too, because you say realms. We may only have one NA and one EU realm. It depends on like what we're looking at based on performance and stuff like that as we move forward.
Yeah, so. Absolutely.
I'll see if G Portal is selling a Ashley Creation server.
I just want to reiterate, we love our EU players.
100%.
We love our EU community.
And to be
what about the EU players?
Significant goals to support our EU community when it comes to community.
I get issues, problems where I get too excited. I'll end up waking up at 1 a.m. I'll wake up at 11 a.m. I'll wake up at 1 a.m. I'll be kicking myself and telling myself to get back to sleep just because I want to keep playing. I just want to get on and play. So it's going to be a hard day tomorrow. A very hard day.
I've talked to my team about this and Web about this in the past. One of the things that I've always wanted to make sure I'm able to do at a company someday is fair and even communication across all of the regions. I feel like it is something we can do whenever we get to that point. So I'm excited to be able to do that. I know that that's not always the case for North American companies, but I think like that is our end goal. But right now we're focused on just alpha testing, and we only have it in English, so we're just really focusing on what we need to do. And I have been in talks with a lot of.
I was saying there's an update as well, Marty.
And some of the folks in.
If you haven't downloaded, there's an update. Open up your launcher.
Like, hey, we were going to move to Shoal anyway, so I think that I know that's not everybody, but we're definitely trying our best to listen and hear, and we hear you guys, we understand. And I think a lot of it wasn't necessarily, Stephen, the moving or removing the EROM, is how quickly the communication went and how fast that went, and we totally understand.
It's a byproduct of us being nimble. Like we, again, and just to go back to that point, this was not the intended trajectory of testing for extension of phase 2.
Now I'm opening up the game.
Responding to the community's outcry of desire. And whenever we do that,
I've just broken everything.
Things aren't going to be super smooth on the communication front because
I opened up the game. It's all right.
And that's
it's loading on the screen now.
But then I have to go pay those receipts down, which means I have to go talk with my development team. I have to say, what does it take to achieve what I've just said? Can we achieve that? Okay, if we can, then when can we have it online and tested by? Cool. And then we come back and I'm like, Margaret, you can now update the article.
See, good news. Servers are down.
As soon as I can.
So hopefully there's no more updates. Hopefully the update has been pushed. Hopefully I don't need a 3-hour update in the morning.
Article in our post in Discord.
That would be devastating.
We tried to make that as clear as possible and communicate as much as possible. But we totally understand there's, the problem there was more the communication and how quickly it turned around. Like Stephen said, we were reacting very quickly on our end as well. So just iterating. So that is the big reminder here. I know we talked a lot about it, but hopefully that has answered a lot of questions for folks. When we get to August 4th, we'll have more information in regards to what realms will be available then. And we did announce that, or we did make a note here that there is potential that we may wipe on August 4th, but we're just kind of giving folks a heads up that may happen. That is not necessarily something that we're planning to do, but it kind of depends on if there's data that we need to swap or move around, or what the back end of things look like on our front, as far as that goes. I think we got everything. My big thing for that is just going to go to Alpha 2 News. Stay tuned over there. We'll keep you guys updated. We do our best to keep you updated and informed over there. If you are not on our Discord, we implore you to go over there.
Not
With
me.
that, moving on to the next thing. Dev discussion, rogue archetype. The rogue is live. For those of, I know there's still some people who maybe
What do you mean? It's always been live.
But I implore you to go check it out. The rogue is pretty cool. Grappling action, like
how's the rogue been going? I mean, in chat, do we have hearts for rogue? Is there sad for rogue? Has rogue been good? I mean, what I've been seeing is that the rogue is nice and a lot of fun. I mean, obviously, balance.
Yeah, you're liking the rogue, aren't you, Monty?
Whatever we need to do, that comes later. But like,
she only works there.
It's like overwhelming love.
Oh shit! Look at all this. Okay, so, big W's and hearts. That's good.
If you are playing the rogue, we implore you to head over to our rogue archetype dev discussion.
I looked over at Bucky, and he's just like, yeah.
Nice. I love that. Head on over to our dev discussion. We are putting a report together. What we're looking for is what feels fun and what doesn't. Which abilities do you like best? Which do you not like? Which do you feel need the most improvement? Visual effects, sound effects. Give us your feeling about those, as well as the class mechanics advantage. How does it feel to generate the resource and to spend it?
Bucky's always the one who dies in the previews, isn't he?
About that, as well as the rogue stealth. How does it feel to use it in PvP versus PvE, as well as tangentially the dagger weapon combos as well. So if you have any feedback on that stuff, if you've been enjoying it or not enjoying it or enjoying elements of it or whatever it may be, definitely head on over there. We're going to be compiling that here pretty shortly. So if you want your information put in there, get in there. We will next up have a naval system dev discussion coming up soon, as well as the other one that I had mentioned about the first time user experience. So keep an eye out for those ones that are coming up. We also are hiring still. We have a whole bunch of roles that are up and available for folks. Please apply if you haven't yet. We'd love for you to join our team. And
there's a job there he might be able to get.
Look at that beautiful
I'll go maybe human resources manager.
Walrus on there?
I've been eyeing that one off. I think it's the only one I could do.
Look at his face. He's just so docile. Like, yeah, I'm floating.
Frost was playing with
maybe associate or principal economy designer. I could probably do that one.
If you know somebody who could fulfill one of these roles, let them know. We also have a general role. So if it's not one of these roles and you're still interested in working for us, you can apply with that one. And we're always looking for talent. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're...
I've been waiting. So on the official Discord, Jesus Christ. On the official Discord, there's... let me pull this down. There is a guild recruitment. Actually, the whole guild recruitment, I guess they both apply now, but I posted a few days ago, and the guild and the rules of the guild recruitment page say you can only post once every 7 days. So I'm sort of sticking that. So a few days ago, I posted an ad up there. So I've been waiting. So it's like, okay, do I post now? So as you can see, the last person that posted was Polar. So I'm thinking, okay, when are people actually going to look at this when they want a guild? Is it right now? Or will it be tomorrow? So I'm thinking I might repost literally within 5 minutes of jumping into the game. I'll repost into the guild chat because I think people are going to get itchy. They're going to start posting in there, and I just want to make sure ours is up there first. All right, how long we got? We
have to fill those roles, but those are the roles that we're really looking for.
Go help desk.
So I think that's the big thing.
He wants to know if we can name the walrus Doug.
Sure. That specific one is named Doug. Our staff member named Doug. Perfect. We have multiple Dougs in our company. They're going to be like, yeah.
When they start, the game starts tomorrow.
Talk about the update notes
at 3 a.m.
to highlighting gathering static spawning. But Steven,
so we've got 6 hours.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
6 hours.
I think we're good. Hopefully on the reminders. Now let's move on to Turquoise Sea preview. We have a little video for you all, so buckle in and enjoy. And I'll just cringe over here listening to my own voice in a recording. So have fun, enjoy the video.
Are you literally gonna play? Kurt, if you're gonna play, I'll book you in. But I don't believe you.
Hello, glorious adventurer. Welcome to the Turquoise Sea. If you're looking for
sun,
salt, and adventure, you've come to the right part of Vera.
Either way,
Keep in mind, Alpha 2 is in an early testing phase in which we are continually updating.
All right, I'm going to... Oh, hang on, I want to see this. This is cool. Oh, that's a rogue. Well, I'm going to have to go to bed now. I do want to watch the rest of it, but I think this is something I'll just watch after this weekend, because the main important part was the phase 2 stuff. Thanks for hosting. No worries. No, I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to watch, chuck on an episode of, what is it? Attack on Titan. I'll go watch I'll go watch you fulfilled my night. Oh, I'm so glad I did, Kurt. I'm going to go watch some episodes of Attack on Titan, hopefully just fall asleep. But yeah, Mighty, I'll see you. I'll see you when you wake up. I'll be here. Fuck, I'm going to be hurting. To be honest, I'm quite nervous of how bad I'm going to feel until the sun comes up. You know, it is the worst, but hopefully it's worth it. We'll see. All right, I've got 3 streams to shut down. So how do I do this? I'll start with all of them. All right, guys, I'll catch you tomorrow. See ya.